Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello my students and welcome to a new episode of Full Blast series. Today the lesson will be for first intermediate grade, second semester Full Blast 2, Module 3. What an experience! Lesson 3A, Were You Scared? Page 37, prepared and presented by Mr. Saad Shaban. Previously we took the first part of 3A and today we are going to take the second part. The first part was for vocab and reading, but today we are going to focus on grammar and we are going to practice using verb be in past simple tense. So our today's objective will be to practice using verb be in past simple tense. Generally, when we talk about past simple, we talk about things that happened in the past, the actions finished, completed in the past. For example, yesterday we visited a museum. It was great. Yesterday we visited. That's past simple. Visited is past simple. We visited a museum. It was great. Was is past simple tense. Verb be is one of the irregular verbs. It has many forms in present simple and it has also many forms of in past simple. The forms of verb be in present simple are am, is and are, and in past simple was and were. As you see in this grammar chart, I am, for example, you can say I am tired today, but yesterday I was angry, for example. He, she, it, or any singular noun like Ali, the boy, the cat is. That's in present. And in past you say was. He, she, it was. We, you, they, and any plural noun like the boys in present are. In past were. So how to pronounce these verbs correctly? Was, were. Let's have more examples. I am in class today. That's am, present time. I am. I was in class yesterday. Past. Was is past. John is here today. John is present. John was here yesterday. Was past. We are happy today. We are happy today. Present. We were happy yesterday. So we used yesterday to indicate past actions, to indicate past action. Yesterday. There are more time expressions like yesterday, last, ago, in. So these all are past time expressions. Yesterday, last night, last week, last year, last summer, last Sunday, 2 days ago, 3 weeks ago, 4 years ago, in plus years in 1975, in 1996, and so on. These are past time expressions. When we use one of these expressions, we usually use past simple tense. So I, she, he, it was. I was. She was. He was. It was. We, you, they were. We were. You were. They were. It's called affirmative or positive sentences. Examples: I was at the park. He was at the park. She was at the park. It was at the park. We were at the park. They were at the park. You were at the park. So was is used with I, he, she, it, or any singular noun like Ahmad. Ahmad was at the park. Were is used with we, they, and you. We, they, you, or any plural nouns like the boys. Ali and I were at the park. This is was and were. Okay, the negative form: was plus not, wasn't; were plus not, weren't; I wasn't, she wasn't, he wasn't, it wasn't; we weren't, you weren't, they weren't. It's called negative. More examples: I wasn't on a cruise, he wasn't on a cruise, she wasn't on a cruise, it wasn't on a cruise, we weren't on a cruise, they weren't on a cruise, you weren't in a cruise. It's negative, negative, wasn't or weren't. Questions: we usually use was, were before the pronouns or before the subjects. So, was I, were you, was he, she, it, were we, you, they. These questions. So, was he tired yesterday? Were they at the cafe yesterday or last week? This is called the questions. Question. More examples: where was I born? How old was he last year? When was she at the museum? Where was it yesterday? Where was it yesterday? Why were we thirsty? Why were we thirsty? What were they like? What were they like? Where were you yesterday? Where were you yesterday? As you see here, we use we or were before pronouns or before the subject. Yes, no questions. Were they at the stadium last week? Were they at the stadium last week? Were they? Short answer: yes, they were. Yes, they were. We exchange the pronoun with verb be. No, they weren't. Yes, they were. No, they weren't. Another question: was she ill 5 days ago? Was she ill 5 days ago? Yes, she was. No, she wasn't. No, yes, she was. No, she wasn't. That's short answers. But we can answer. We can have long answer. Can you say yes, she was ill 5 days ago, or yes, they were at the stadium last week. Expression similar to was: there was and there were. They also usually used in past simple: was and were. There was is followed by singular noun, but there were is followed by a plural noun. They can be used also in affirmative, negative, or questions. In affirmative, there was or there were. There was a singular. There was a car in the garage. There was a chair in the room. There was a photo on the wall. There were is followed by plural. There were 2 posters on the wall. There were 3 chairs in the room. Negative, we say there wasn't or there weren't. There wasn't a car in the garage. That's the negative of the sentence. There wasn't a car in the garage. A car is singular. There weren't 2 posters on the wall. There weren't any posters on the wall. So plural after weren't. Question: was there? Instead of saying there was, we exchange them. Was there? Was there a car in the garage? Yes, there was, or no, there wasn't. Were there? Plural. Were there 2 posters on the wall? Yes, there were, or no, there weren't. So, to sum up, there was and there were in the affirmative. There wasn't or there weren't in the negative. Was there or were there in the questions. And now let's practice using was or were. Choose the correct form of verb be. It can be was or were. The sentence: I space born in Abha. What's the right answer? Was or were? Think. Yes, you're right. I was born in Abha. I was born in Abha. Thank you. That's right. Second sentence. It's a question. It's a question. Look at the question mark. Okay. So, space she at school last Thursday. Space she at school last Thursday. Was or were? Okay. Excellent. Was she? Was she at school last Thursday? Was she at school last Thursday? The next one. Great job. Was or were? They. Excellent. Were. They were happy yesterday. Next one. We space at the office 2 minutes ago. We was or we were? Perfect. We were. We were at the office 2 minutes ago. John. Oh, this is a negative sentence. The negative. Wasn't or weren't. John wasn't or weren't very happy. John is a singular. So wasn't or weren't. Super. Wasn't. John wasn't very happy. John wasn't very happy. Last one. It was or it were cold and windy. Means the weather. It's singular. Was or were cold and windy. Thank you. It was. It was cold and windy. It was cold and windy. Thanks. And now let's have more practice in our books. Open your books. Yes. Grammar. Complete with was, wasn't, were or weren't. One of these four forms. Was, wasn't, were, weren't. Number 1. A. Where space you yesterday. Excellent. Where were you yesterday? Where were you yesterday? Were you at home? Were you at home? Thanks. Great. The question here, were you at home? Short answer, no, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. A new sentence, I was with Andy. I was with Andy. We were at the museum. We were at the museum. A question. It. What do we use with it? Do we use was or were? Yes. Was it good? Was it good? Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Okay. Now, Dan and I. A deceiving sentence. Some of us, when on saying I, use was, but here it's plural. Dan and I. It's plural, not just I. So Dan and I were at the new skate park last weekend. A question similar to this. Was it exciting? Was it exciting? Yes, it was fantastic. Yes, it was fantastic. Yesterday, there any people, it's a plural, but there weren't any people in the park because it was cold and windy. It was cold and windy. Thanks for answering. And now let's answer the activities in the workbook. Open your workbook to page 98. Let's show the homework of last class. Make sure your answers are right. Tom thinks history is very interesting. He likes it very much. Jack is very happy because he's got a new bike. He loves bikes. Wake up, Sally, you're late again. Fran is very sad because she can't find her cat. Adam is a funny person and always makes us laugh. Look, I've got a message from Pauline. The room was full of beautiful paintings. There was a strange man outside my house. I was very scared. Okay, now let's practice using was, were, wasn't, or weren't. One of these four. Number one, Mike. Excellent. I was at an art gallery yesterday. The paintings were great, thanks. A question. Were you at home? Were you at home? Excellent. No, I was at a restaurant with my friends. The food was terrible and very expensive. My friends and I weren't happy. We were angry. Number two, space. There are a lot of people at the match yesterday. A lot of people. Is singular, plural, people. Excellent, plural. So were there a lot of people at the match yesterday? No, they weren't. We always use wasn't and weren't when we say no. So no, there weren't. The weather was terrible. Space. Your brother at the match with you. Your brother, singular. So was your brother at the match with you? No, he wasn't. He was at a friend's house. Number three, where were you yesterday afternoon? Where were you yesterday afternoon? I was at the gym. The gym, space, safe. There too, safe. The person, singular. So was safe? Yes, he was. Now page 99. Look at the pictures and write where the people were in the examples. Okay, look at the photo and decide where the people were. Example number one. Was Lisa at the post office yesterday? No, Lisa wasn't at the post office. She was at the shopping center. Okay, number two. Okay, let's have a minute to answer. Take your time. Okay, were the boys at the park yesterday morning? Look, they weren't at the park. They were at school. Okay, no, the boys weren't at the park. They were at school. Copy answers in your box. Number 3 and 4. Number 3, look carefully at the photos. Okay, was Dylan at the zoo yesterday? Is the zoo? Of course no. So no, Dylan. Think. Take your time. So no, Dylan wasn't at the zoo. He was at the skate park. Okay. Number 4. Were Mr. and Mrs. Stone at a restaurant last weekend? Again, were Mr. and Mrs. Stone at a restaurant last weekend? Look carefully. They were at a museum. Look here carefully. No, Mr. and Mrs. Stone weren't at a restaurant. They were at a museum. They were at a museum. Copy answers. Okay, D and E are homework. Exercise D and E are homework. So homework, answer exercises D and E on page 99. That's homework. Answer exercises D and E on page 99. So as we said in the previous episode, please answer the homework and send it on Ibn Khaldun website and wait for feedback on your answer from your teacher. I hope the lesson has been useful and fruitful. I wish you all good luck and see you soon.